We are on the the lunch break of the questioning of HN58, the former Detective Chief Inspector of the Special Demonstration Squad between 1998 and 2001. He has been questioned further about the deployment of HN26, cover name Christine Green, and her involvement in a mink raid that led to the liberation of between 3,000 and 6,000 mink. An operation that he personally authorized, despite us being shown authorization document, code of conduct documents that said he should have gone to Special Branch Commander. He was given the go ahead, but he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. It was given the go ahead. They didn't inform Hampshire Police where the thing was taking place because they were hoping to get a conviction of Joe Tax for something much bigger and imprison him for a long period of time. And they were so excited about that. I'm joined by Evelyn Lubbers of the Undercover Research Group, and off screen by Jessica from Police Spies Out of Lives. What do you make of it?
Well, it was different from the first part of the morning because we heard actually some news things. We also talked about the relationship that Christine Green started with an activist and for whom she left her job and her husband.
And we paid for them to move.
Yeah, and that's like, like there was some kind of, they were afraid that there was a breach or there was like, so they had to move. And then there was
a security concern, not breach concern.
No, sorry, yes, I couldn't find the words. I got up very early this morning. They had to move, and the police agreed to buy another house or to pay for their new house. And then there was like some sort of talk about it was going to be a smaller house. And David Barr asked him, do you know why they only wanted a smaller house now? And it turned out that Christine Green was going to live with Joe Tax, the activist she had started a relationship with, and that the new house was only for her husband. So we didn't really know this yet, that the Metropolitan Police paid for the house of the ex-husband.
Well, it was the house move. So they sold their existing house and bought a new house. There was, but there's a cost to have incurred. So I don't think the suggestion is that the British taxpayer bought the house. I think it's that they facilitated.
No, but David Barr said they were going to split up, so they had to. They had to sell their joint house anyway, so they would have money, and they could have split that up. And it's like, so the implication is that basically they helped funding a new house for the ex-husband to make sure that Christine Green wouldn't spill the beans on the STS. So the operational security, as we have heard many times before. And before that, we talked for a long time. The managers all insist that they had no clue why Christine Green's intelligence was so bad. She was almost going to be pulled, and suddenly it became a lot better within a month. The fact that was a change in her lifestyle, as David Barr suggested.
Well, as the document said, there was also this really strange meeting that took place between James Thompson, HM1, cover name Matt Rayner, and Christine Green to chat supposedly about HN3, Jason Bishop's arrest at May Day reclaiming the streets. But it appears to be very clearly that HN58 sent the other animal rights activist, undercover police officers, to go and meet with Christine Green to sound her out about what she was actually knew, what she was going to tell, why she was leaving, because there was a shock that she suddenly announced that she was going to leave the STS, or leave the police entirely.
But of course, HN58 couldn't remember. Couldn't remember.
I don't know anything about this.
It was a major event endangering the entire, like an undercover officer giving up her job because she's going to live with an activist. It's not just something. It's big. It's a major threat to the unit.
He claims that he didn't know that she was going to go and live with an activist until many years later. The paper trail suggests that she's going to live abroad. There's a lot of discussion between her and other former undercover officers saying that she's happy, in good spirits, been abroad, just come back, going to go abroad again. It's put to him that there's a lot said about the influence of Bob Lambert on
Yep.
these happenings,
Yeah.
that he was persuaded by
course.
Bob Lambert, both in terms of the authorization and the not telling of Hampshire police about the mink raid, but also around dealing with Christine Green when she said she was going to leave, and not putting things down on paper.
Yeah. Maybe we have to explain a bit more about the mink raid first.
Well, we are joined off screen by Jessica. Do you want to talk about the mink raid at all?
Yeah. So one of the things that I was a bit confused about is the estimate of between 3,000 and 6,000 mink. You know, that's quite. Granted, they're probably not easy to count, but that's quite a discrepancy with like 3,000 mink.
I guess you count the empty cages.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that you know, sort of, if you're feeding these animals every day, you know sort of how many you have to a cage, or how many cages, you know.
To maybe explain a bit more. Maybe to explain a bit more that Christine Green, with the animal rights cell she was now part of, were planning to do a raid on a mink farm and free apparently thousands of minks. And that we've heard a lot of talk about who knew, you know, like what the Hampshire police was told.
Well, they weren't.
They weren't, because they thought that was like it was dangerous for the unit and for the I can't speak anymore, to protect the identity of the cover identity.
And HN58 thought it was actually his decision, to make. So
Yeah.
that was okay. Didn't need to ask anyone else.
He didn't think about the minks. He didn't.
Well, it was very clear that he claimed that he was persuaded by Bob Lambert both to authorise, to not inform Hampshire police. And it says in the documentation that it was operationally conducive, that there was no non-SDS sources within this ALF cell. That the operation go ahead, and there was a hope there would be further operations to build credibility before there was something significant enough with which to arrest and hopefully long-term imprison Joe Tax.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't think that there was actually a cell for Christine Green was there. You know, having that was groups that I was involved in, and yeah, I would say. You know, that she was the cell. You know, I mean, yeah, there's probably lots of I can't say actually.
I mean, we can refer to previous undercover officers in the animal rights field, like Bob Lambert, like HM1 Company Matt Rayner, who were leading direct action. Matt Rayner driving around Jeff Shepherd in order to take part in actions which led to his imprisonment. Bob Lambert setting up Andrew Clark and Jeff Shepherd for the Debenhams incendiary device attacks. James Thompson didn't do it, but he was too busy doing his film locations and having a nice time and going all day a lot. So
Operation Line.
He did try with Operation Line.
Yeah. You know, let's not forget sexual predator Andy Coles and his organising the raid on the Battery Chicken Farm. And you know, I mean, I don't think, and the inquiry haven't actually supplied an answer whether or not they told Surrey police before that went down, or whether they just, like, you know, Christine Green a few years later, or whether they just thought, well, we won't tell the local officers because it just, you know, takes people.
It became quite a scandal when this came out through the inquiry. At the time, it was not just like another small animal liberation action. It was front page news. It was big. There was a lot of, people were worried that, you know, like for the damage that the minks would do, although there's discussion about whether they do damage at all or
I don't think there is any debate.
No. We also know that the company that had that mink farm went out of business because of the Metropolitan Police action on this mink farm. And it was, I think, only a couple of years ago that this came out, and that the Metropolitan Police felt obliged to apologize to the local police that they had never told them, not beforehand, but also not afterwards. So we were wondering, like, if we had that farm and we knew that it was the fault of the Metropolitan Police that raid took place, should they sue the Metropolitan Police for going out of business? Maybe they're not even aware, but I do think, I don't know.
I mean, can I just say, fuck those guys? The guys who own the mink farm, I'm really glad you lost your business, and I hope you've had a terrible life ever since. Certainly, it was a very big story at the time. It's something that's been harked back to a lot as to show the stupidity of animal rights activists, that they would release a species like mink into the countryside, which would cause the death of large numbers of wild animals. This is always an argument made by people who don't give a fuck about wild animals, but it's a line that's often delivered. The fact that it was the result of an undercover police operation kind of speaks volumes, I always feel. Though there are plenty of animal rights activists who will defend releasing mink into the wild. I mean, I'm not particularly personally one of them, but that's another story. We did cover some other topics this morning. We got on to Mark Jenner, his reporting on anti-fascist action and its connections to the Lawrence family. We had, I thought, it was a very telling exchange between David Barr and HN58 about basically the propriety of undercover police reporting on political groups who were engaged in lawful protest, contacting grieving families of those who've been victims of racist attacks in order to get their support for further demonstrations. And there was a suggestion from HN58 that this was proper police work in order to snoop on such things, because there was a danger that any demonstration that was countenanced by the grieving family could result in public disorder, and the police had a responsibility to prevent such things from taking place.
Yeah, I almost thought his sort of amnesia and his Dodderell Fall Act suddenly sort of, I think it wasn't foremost on his mind. So he was quite, he stated his case very, very well. I think he thought, but yeah, it's I mean, staggering really to listen to them and how they sort of justify what they did and how they'll still even now. So many things he sort of capitulated and said, no, it shouldn't have done. And yes, in hindsight, he's using hindsight quite a lot. But yeah, it's quite shocking how he's how everything seemed to be okay, and and it being his call, and it's all fine.
It was remarkably lucid, given his display for the rest of the morning. And I think really sort of like exposed the core self-belief that these police have about the legitimacy of their operations.
Yes. Indeed, like he doesn't even seem to realize that he's saying the wildest things. Like David Barr really went into it. Like, do you honestly believe that it's okay to spy on people who want to protest against the extreme right and who want to support grieving families? Do you honestly believe that? Yes, because it can always become a public order problem, maybe. So that's why we have to monitor these groups. And he was like, Barr really put it like a democratic right to protest. And then he said, yeah, people have a democratic right to protest, but we need to keep an eye on them, because you never know what's going to happen.
I think that just sums up everything that is wrong with the policing in this topic. And we've had some comments. Just one here from Proudhon. Beyond vile that HN58 remains anonymous, defends spying on Stephen Lawrence and other campaigns setting people up for prison. And he mentioned political policing, unless I misheard. I mean, he did, certainly that section we were just talking about. I mean, very much exactly what that is. Another comment by the same person. Mitting should remove HN58's anonymity. His reasons for enforcing it were shite and woefully out of step into 2018, and still are. Get the voice unscrambled and give his name. He's a criminal, Mittens. I would just say that is actually his real voice. There was discussion beforehand that it would be scrambled. I mean, he really sounds like that. Apparently, it is. He has got a very strange voice. People have suggested he sounds like Davros from the Daleks. But it appears that actually is, believe it or not. I mean, who would have thought it?
I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but it does seem that he doesn't want to talk. His voice is sort of strained because he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to give evidence, and he doesn't want to explain anything. So sometimes sort of physical restraints of talking.
I mean, there was a few really pathetic when like things were put to him. He just sort of pathetic. Yes, like kind of fell out of his mouth. Like, oh, I don't want to admit to that, but I guess I have to.
In that sense, it's a shame that we can't see him. I would love to see him. Sometimes I picture him sitting like this. Yeah, can't be bothered. Do I have to answer this? We can't see him, so this is all my imagination.
It is quite surreal, actually, the way we're all sat staring at this blank wall with in a room with a lot of lawyers. With no idea really of because of the long silences that take place, you're kind of trying to get a sense of how the witness is behaving. It's not really satisfactory, and it doesn't bear any sense really about why he's got this level of anonymity. It's from a different time. There's a lot more to go. I was discussing with some of the lawyers just before we went live that how on earth are we going to fill 3 days with this man? He's not giving up much at all, but as they said, day off isn't in the vocabulary. It will go for the full 3 days. There will be questions asked, and he will fail to answer them, but it will keep going. We have got a lot more to go. Is there anything else you'd like to add about what we've heard so far?
No, just want it over now. I'm done with him.
Already. Yeah.
All right, yeah, fair play. All right, well, thanks for joining us. I note that there's 48 people watching. Only one person has liked. It would really help if more people did. We'll do another video in the